how's it going, Naughton?
Fucking good, man. I
Yeah?
like seeing you. It feels like I saw you, I don't know, a few weeks ago or something.
Oh, really? It's been like 2.5 years or something, bro.
Yeah.
For everyone that's watched my YouTube videos before, Naughton was one of the kind souls in the Peru videos. Basically, we met at a hostel in Peru. We hit it off. We went surfing a few times. It was awesome. We connected. We had a couple crazy, crazy experiences together. Not in everybody.
Stop.
I think a cool way to start would be your timeline into how we connected. So, like, what was going on in your life, where you were from, where, like, your home life, your personal life that made you decide to go on this journey that sent you to the exact same place that it sent me?
Oh, I love this question, bro. So, yeah, I'm from the Netherlands. So I grew up here. I grew up in like a rural site, not really farm life, but if I opened my back door of my home, would be like seeing trees and hearing birds and just smelling fresh air. And yeah, I grew up in quite a peaceful, natural environment in one way, but in another way, my parents got divorced when I was 5, and me and my 3 older sisters stayed mainly with my mom, because my dad has a bipolar disease, you could say. So he's not that present as a father as what I would have wished for when I was younger. So that created quite some stress, actually, and some just some pain in some ways, which I wasn't really aware of at the time, of course. And in high school, I was playing basketball on like highest level for the youth of my age. I was like always busy. I could never sit still. I would always be like, looking at the things that needed to change or that needed to be improved. Really, perfectionism was alive. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. In the end of high school, people are all, in my surroundings at least, all talking about studying and this and that. And I was like, well, there are so many interesting things for me, but I want some freedom after all these years of school and people telling me what to do. And I didn't really get along well in the school system. There was a time I smoked a lot of weed just during the school days, and when I get up and before going to bed, all sneaky, because a lot of people couldn't know that I was doing this. I was quite addicted. And then there was a moment of change, a switch for me, after I had a concussion, had an accident with skiing. And it was the first time skiing. And then the first half hour I was unconscious and a helicopter got my feet and I went to the fucking hospital. Quite a crazy experience. but that changed. Like then I decided to not finish that school year because it would be the year before the final year, and then I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna switch this button. So the final 2 years of school, I was like such a good student in a way, like always present, always in the front of the front row of the class, and I really can recall this vivid memory of a teacher saying to me in this year that I did over, in the end of the year, he was like, "Yeah, Nathan, you changed completely from like a stoned zombie to one of the most present students." So in a way, I could get along with the school system, but it was just so not resonating with me. I've come to the realization that I have quite a high preference of autonomy in my life, and yeah, in high school that wasn't much space for that to be experienced by me. So I had this one thing clear. I want to be free. I was like, yeah, maybe travel. Was this cliche idea about traveling and finding yourself and stuff? But I was like, yeah, fuck, I just want to travel. And I really liked the language, the Spanish language, a lot. I had it in high school for a few years, and then at one point I was like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna go to to a Spanish spoken country. And then I just I was like, oh okay, South America. Everyone goes to Asia. I don't want to go where everyone goes. I want to go somewhere else. First, I would have gone to Chile because there would have been someone from the Netherlands who was like hosting a workaway thing. I don't know if it was a farm or some kind of nice place. She was a friend of my mother. So for me, it was really nice to have this idea of, okay, I'm going to a place where it is safe. But then after booking the flight tickets for the flight and stuff, like a few months later, I heard of this woman. Like she gave me the advice to not go to Chile anymore because there was a civil war going on in Chile at the time.
Oh wow!
Or like war. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of demonstrations and quite some heavy, unpleasant stuff. So she was like, "Hey, you are welcome, but if I were you, I would go somewhere else." So I spent one night in Chile because I still had this flight.
You did.
Slept one night there, and then I took a flight from Chile de Santiago to Lima, Peru. And this is the location on planet Earth that we met, that Kalen and I bumped into each other in I think we met for the first time in the swimming pool hostel or something, right?
In the White House.
Did we meet in the White House for the first time?
I believe so. I think I had come back. I was at the White House for a week or something, and then I left. And then I got we were gonna go to Machu Picchu, and then I got really sick. Like the worst sick I've been in my life, somewhere in Horcachina. I don't know if you went there. That desert oasis town. And I was there so sick, so I decided I just go back to Lima. And I was the only place I know is the White House, and I came back, and there you were. You had kind of replaced the job I was doing.
Yeah. This is crazy. In such a weird environment that we found ourselves in, huh?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you were there, and we were like, we're the same age, like we're like kind of similar. So I think we were like initially a little bit connected, but then you thought I was this like rich snobby American or something because I left my computer around. and then and then you told me, yeah, that's what I thought at the beginning, but then I realized that you have less money than me. And I was like, huh.
Did we talk about that? It's not so clear for me anymore.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have less money than you did on your trip.
So I was leaving my computer all around the house just like nonchalantly, and you thought I just didn't care about money because I was super rich or something. But then I told you my situation. You're like, wow, I have a lot more money than him, and he's still here.
Ah.
So you're like, oh, maybe my
Yeah.
judgments were wrong.
Yeah, it's so nice to be in this realization that the assumptions are not right. I think they are never right, actually. But I remember, yeah, you telling me your story about your trip. I was, uh, yeah, I really admired that. Really felt inspiration as well, inspired by you. That you were just like going, I don't know, you bought your plane ticket to Lima really spontaneously, right? Or like randomly.
Yeah, it was like an ad popped up on my computer, and I was like, I have enough to buy that flight. Let's just go. And then we just went, and we didn't have very much money when we got there, but we survived for a little bit. It was
How
definitely a
long did
life
you stay in the end?
till right before Christmas. So not that long, not nearly as long as you. Maybe a little over a month or so.
Mhm.
But it was just like, I mean, I had like run out of money really, and I was like, I don't really have that great of a means of getting money here. So, and I thought
Yeah.
I was like starting to like figure out some things I need to figure out, so I sent it back to America. But I've been trying to get you out to America ever since. Jeez, never quite made it.
No.
But
Yeah. I guess I'm figuring out things here as well. But you were saying it has been a life-changing experience or time for you, or?
I mean, of course, I mean, in a foreign country for the first time, and in a place that didn't speak my native tongue, and like completely on my own, essentially. Like if something happened to me, it was completely on me, and that's probably the first time in my life I'd ever experienced that. So that's definitely different. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely a few things within the Lima experience. I mean, we had definitely had one particularly bonding experience. I feel like I don't know if you want to go into that, but um,
We
w-
could, if we
we could.
wanted to. If yeah, you feel
Yeah,
like talking about it.
I mean, we could. So, um, yeah, okay. So I guess I can tell it from my perspective to begin with. So, Nod and I were like, we were like kind of stranger friends. Like we were just not we were just kind of homies. Like we were just kind of in the same house. We got along. We weren't really like close. Um, but then one day, so we were sleeping in the same like quarters. Like we had the same bedroom. There's like 6 bunk beds or something in there, and we were all sleeping in there. And then one day, I just noticed that Naughton just seems a little loud, a little low, a little down, a little like not himself. And I was like, huh. And you were on the phone a lot with just random friends. And I mean, you were talking in Dutch and stuff, so I couldn't understand you. But I just like picking up random words, and if I could try to translate it or something, as when I like walked by or something. And then I was in there, I was just doing my own thing or something. And then I heard you say the word massage. And I was like, oh my God. And I had this like, I was like, holy shit. And then like an hour goes by and you went to go make lunch or something in the kitchen. And I was like, yo, bro, you feeling all right? And I was like, and you were like, yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. And I'm like, you just seem a little quiet, a little down or something. You're like, nah, man, I'm good. And you're like cooking up whatever you were, like plantains or something. And then I was like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, did something happen with Joni? And you were like, how, how did you know? What? And you got like super startled. Um, and then
Who's Joni?
Joni's the guy who owned the White House.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sorry, there you go. Joni is the guy who owned the hostel that we were in. And then you proceeded to tell a pretty crazy story if you want to tell it yourself through your own
Yeah.
eyes.
I can do that. Yeah. It's interesting because I think how I remember this moment being together in the kitchen and you you asking me what's alive in me, if I was feeling all right, or I think I was just saying like, hey, I don't really want to talk about it or something. Like I was just like, it was so such a overwhelming experience for me, what had happened that night, because the night before I was going out with Johnny, and Johnny, I was volunteering in the hostel, and how it all went, it was also, I don't know, too good to be true. Like that's what I realized afterwards in a way. He was so, it didn't really make sense, the way he was doing or acting. Like I was working as a volunteer, but there wasn't really that much to do. That was the the weird thing. Just sitting around, and of course being nice to people. But he was like, we're gonna go and do the Pisco Sour tour, which is like a bar tour that he organizes because he runs this hostel, but he also does touristic activities in Lima. And the Pisco Sour tour was one of his events. And so he was like, we're gonna go and do that together. So you can do it next time on your own with guests of the hostel or with tourists. And I was like, I didn't really want to drink actually. But then we did this Pisco Sour tour, which is going to different bars, pretty cool locations, like in an old formal palace and stuff, and like in this really cozy small bar in another district. And we would go from one bar to the next bar by cab, and like he would take care of everything, but it was like, well, why do you give so much? It didn't feel in balance, you know. And I also mentioned in the cab like, hey, I would like to contribute more to the hostel. Like what I'm doing now doesn't feel so so in balance for me. So I said like, hey, I would be down to paint the bathrooms, for example, or like do stuff like that. Because it didn't really feel, what I mentioned. It didn't feel as if it was a fair deal the way it was. And I guess that comes down to what happened on the way back in the cab, like the final ride, or we skipped the last bar, I would say, because I was so fucking, I was shit faced. Pisco sour is like, I don't know if I can describe what the drink is exactly. It's like a cocktail, typically from that region of Peru. Um, a lot of people really like it, but I don't like booze that much, so I don't really like it, I would say. Uh, but then in the cab, I was like feeling so drunk and lost. And then he was taking, I was like, and then leaning to the left side against the window, and he was sitting on the right side in the back of the cab. And then he was just like taking me to lean on his side. I was like, no, no, no. But then he did it really firmly, and he held me a bit. Uh, yeah, like he wanted to pat me or something, and that just didn't feel good. And later, when we got home, he wanted me to make the final pisco sour drink because we didn't went to the last bar, and I was like, bro, I'm fucking shit faced. I want to go to bed, you know. But then he was really pushing, and after, yeah, I don't know. At one point, he was just like, "Ah, I can give you a massage or something," and I don't know if it was at that point or a little bit later, but I was feeling so drunk that I needed to throw up. So I went down to the toilet and I was like throwing up all the booze. And I can recall, I don't know, he was behind me at one point when I was throwing up a lot. Um, and I was really like, I want to talk to you about what happened. I was already like, what the fuck, this guy, what he's doing is not right. I just saw the look on his face, just what he was broadcasting with his eyes or something, and it was so not. Yeah, it was monstrous or something. It was really frightening me, as if my alarm bells went off. Because he really wanted to I don't know what he wanted to do, cuddle with me or have intimate times together. And so the next day I went to him, and he was like feeling really bad because of the booze as well, but I think because of the whole experience a lot. And I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about what happened. And we went for this walk together. And he was, he showed some honesty, and he said like, yeah, that this had happened once before, a few years ago, somewhere where he was in Thailand or something, also with a younger male, because this Johnny was maybe like 33 or 38 years old. I don't know exactly. And he was like playing a victim role, I would say. He was like feeling really sorry for himself, and he was like, yeah, I don't know what happened, and this thing happened to me. This I don't know, this kind of monstrous energy, or and I didn't really buy it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to stay here because I want where I'm staying. I want to feel safe, but I want to let it sink in for now a bit. And he was really like begging me to give him a second chance and to stay because he needed my help and blah 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 blah. And then later that day, there was this moment in the kitchen where Kalen was, yeah, showing his interest in how I was doing. Then this conversation opened up about what Kalen had experienced with him.
Yeah, so
Mind blowing.
yeah.
You want
Well,
to emphasize on what you experienced?
yeah, so basically before Naughton showed up at the White House at the hostel, I was the same role as him. I was the young male traveling alone who barely spoke Spanish, um, in a new place for the first time, kind of thing. And then he just started offering me things and like, do you want to volunteer here? I'll pay for everything. I'll do all this. You know, you don't really have to do anything. You just have to kind of like be here and help out, and I'll pay for your stay and your food, and it's all right. And I'm like, well, that sounds great because I don't have any money. I don't know why, but like, okay, let's do it. And you know, I was young. I didn't know any better, right? You know, we were both like 20. Like you know, the first time really you're out of your own home, and you don't realize like I don't know, as much of the reality of the real world. And so he's offering all these things, and it's creating this weird power dynamic in which I am subject to whatever he says, basically, because I don't want to piss him off because, you know, there goes my free stay. There goes my only sense of like community and home in this country that I'm in. There goes in just all of these comforts that are so hard to get in a place as new and foreign as Peru, as a 20-year-old who doesn't know the language. And so I do that. And I believe, yes, this was right before I left for the first time, is I'd gone out, had this wild night, with these Peruvian girls, and we were bar hopping and going all over. And at the end of it, it was like 6:30 in the morning. And I'm exhausted, so tired that you're like feel like you don't like you kind of don't know where you are, kind of thing. You're like, oh my God, I just seen a bed. And so I get back to the hostel, and I open the door, and then there's just like some dude on the couch, and I'm like, who the hell are you? And I start talking to him, and he's like, yo, what's up, bro? Kind of thing. And he's like telling me all these stories about how he's doing drugs or something. And I was like, cool. And then all of a sudden I hear a voice at the top of the stairs, and it was like, Kalen, come here. And I was like, hmm? And he's like, Kalen, come here. And I was like, okay. And I recognized he was Joni, and I start walking upstairs, and I'm like, oh, he's probably just like, yo, don't come home at 6 a.m. You know, that was what I was guessing was going to go down. And so I walk upstairs, and it was weird because it felt like he'd been waiting for me. He was at the top of the stairs, just like standing there. And I get in, and I start talking to him a little bit, and he's like, oh, let me show you this balcony I have. And I was like, okay. And so like I walk in, and it's like in one of the rooms I'd never been in because I wasn't allowed, because I hadn't paid for the fancy suite or something. And so I walk in, and he's like, yeah, isn't this so pretty? And I'm like, yeah, it's nice. And he's like, come here, Kalen. And he like gives me a hug, and and I was like, okay. And he hugs me, and then the hug just keeps lasting. And I'm like, it was like one of those hugs where it felt like something really bad had happened and he needed comfort. And I was like, oh, you know, it's okay, man. It's okay. And then I was like, okay, let's kind of stop it after like 30 seconds. And then he's like, and then we keep talking. And he's like, I really like you. I appreciate that you're here. It's so nice to have you around and all these things. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. I feel like welcomed and like warm and like I'm finding some home in this foreign country. And then he comes, back in and gives me another hug. And it felt like the same way, like something bad had happened and he just needed this. And I was like, okay. And so this one was like even longer, maybe like 45 seconds or a minute. And then after that, then he starts to say you can stay here. It's okay. You can sleep in this nice room. And it'd been 2 weeks since I'd slept in a place where you could like sleep. I'd been in random ass people's houses and bunk beds and airplanes and buses, and that's where I'd slept. So I was exhausted. I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. He's like, yeah, there's no one in here tonight. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll sleep here for sure. That sounds great. Thank you. And then he's like, yeah. He starts like kind of like rubbing my shoulders, like, you seem tense. You need a massage. And I was like, ah, I was like, this feels weird, but I'm kind of like in and out of it. And I'm like about to like go to sleep, like standing up kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he starts like doing that. And I'm like, okay. And then eventually he's like, yeah, like go lay down on the bed and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'll go to sleep. And like I go in, and then he like continues massaging me, and then just, one thing I guess led to another, and just like some weird sexual assault type things that I don't necessarily want to detail completely publicly, but that were just not something that I was okay with. And then but I mean, I didn't necessarily tell him no, so it's hard to comprehend that situation and like what you're really thinking that moment. And then didn't really know what was going on. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh my fucking God, that was real. What the fuck? And it was just felt so shit. Felt like this disgusting, like what in the world did I let happen to me? This was just not something I wanted. And then, you wake up and walk downstairs after like an hour of like realizing what had happened. And then Joni's like, hey, how's it going? And, like giving that like fucking smiley, like, and I'm like, you fucking devil. Like, so I'm looking at him, and then I was like realizing like I have to get out of here. Like I have to get out of here. And I was, and then luckily this random, not random, but her name was Annika. She was from Germany, and I had kind of befriended a little bit. She was leaving to go to Machu Picchu. And so I was like, can I join you? And she's like, yeah, we're leaving tomorrow. And I was like, okay, let's do it. That's perfect. I need to get out of here. So I take off. When we go out, we're on our way to Machu Picchu in this random town that I was telling Natin earlier, called Horacachina. And I got super, super, super sick. Like the most sick I'd ever been in my life. And if I stood up, like the world would like tilt and wobble. And like didn't leave my bed for like 3 days. Like actually didn't leave it. Like I got up to pee. That was it. And while I'm in this hostel, and there's 6 bunk beds and 12 people of random countries sleeping in it, in this random town in the desert. And eventually I'm like, Anika was leaving to go take like a 17-hour bus to the next spot, which was like the gateway to Machu Picchu. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. Like, I don't feel like I can walk, let alone take a 17-hour bus ride. And so I was like, go on without me. I took another few days, and then eventually I was like, I guess I'll just go back to Lima. The only place I really know that feels like a little bit of home is, weirdly enough, the White House, even though it felt weird to go back. I went back. I tried finding this other girl that I had met, but I couldn't find her because of, communication errors and different languages and not having a working phone in a different country and stuff like that. Eventually I'm like, I'll just go back to the White House. And so I get back, and then that's when I see you, I believe. And then we connect. And then a few days later was the kitchen when we were talking. And then I shared my story with him. And then we both went, oh, fuck. That little bitch.
Yeah, we were fucking angry. I was feeling mad as fuck, bro.
Because we realized is like it wasn't a single occurrence. Like this was his plan. Because I had felt disgusted because in the days, like in the times between, like when, like he'd always seem like he was watching me, or if I was like changing, he was always just like weirdly around, or he would be like, oh, nice legs or something like that. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is weird. And then it got disgusting after the fact, after the incident. And then to come back and then realize like he purposely would have young travelers in powerless situations become like his little bitch boy, and then get them in a situation in which they're not in their own state of mind, like way deep into the morning, or like after like either trying to get you drunk or like presuming you're really drunk or something like that, and then try to sexually take advantage of you. And we're like, this little piece of scum.
Yeah.
And then
man. He really was teaching us something, I would say.
Yeah.
I wonder, man, what did you learn by this experience?
Well, so it's not entirely over, I would say, because, or I mean, maybe it's more so over now, but like after we realized this, I remember you were like visibly angry, and then we kind of like decided our plan. Like we went into our little bedroom and we were like, what are we gonna do about this, man? This is horrible. And then you're like, I'm talking to Joni. We're having a meeting tonight. And I was like, okay. And you go up to Joni and you're like, we need to talk to you in 1 hour. Meet us upstairs. And he's like, what about? And we're like, you know. And he was like, I do not know. What are you talking about? Because what I had told you was like we could create hell for this man. Like we could press charges. He could lose his business. He could lose his lifestyle. He could lose his honor. He could lose everything about him, essentially. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to give him an opportunity to be able to express himself, apologize or something before we would do something like that. Because it's, understand people do make mistakes, even if they're horrendous. And it's just like a crazy responsibility to have, to where you can ruin a man. And so we did this, and then we eventually we pulled him aside to go upstairs, and he was like delayed it by like 20 minutes. He was like pretending he was busy or something. And we were like sitting on that little table outside, and we had like 2 little drinks, and we were just like angrily sipping. And you were like fuming, dude. And then eventually he comes up and he's like, hi guys, what's this about? And now we were like, Joni, stop lying. And then you talked for most of this. Do you remember what you said?
Not clearly, but I think there's like quite a strong urge for justice with me, and so this really came alive. Do you remember?
I do remember a little bit of it. So you're like, I think you stood up and you went, stop lying, or something like that. And you were like dead serious. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm sitting for this one. Nothing's gonna take over. Go ahead, buddy. And you start like going at him. It's like, you know what you did? Stop lying. This is absolutely ridiculous. And you just like keep going at him. You go at him for about like 30 seconds or a minute. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, both Kalen and I have had the same situation happen to us in which you were both trying to take advantage of us. And he's like, that's not true. And I was like, yes, it is, Joni. And he's like, Kalen. And he looks at me. And this is what disgusted me. It's like, Kalen, you know you didn't pay for your laundry. And I was like, what? And he's like, you know it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I thought back, and it was because there's a laundry machine at the place. And I didn't realize that you had to pay for the laundry. So I did my laundry and paid them after the fact when he asked me for it. And then I didn't realize they also did it by kilo to try to charge you more. So then I had a jacket that weighed more than whatever I said it weighed or something like that in kilos. And so I underpaid him by like 10 sol or something like that. And he was like, Kalen, that's absolutely wrong of you. You've been disrespectful to this place since the beginning. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're fucking insane. And that's when I was like, you're fucking insane, bro. That's when I realized it. I'm like, and both you and I were seeing red. And we were like, Joni, you do realize we can end your existence as a, like, your current existence, we can end it if we wanted to. I think you should be a little nice. And then you went up to him and you're like, Joni, we're still deciding what we're going to do, but we will not pay a single dime for what what we're supposed to owe you for staying here. We will not pay any of it. Also, we will be out of here tomorrow, and whatever we decide is how it goes. And then we split ways.
I'm not sure if we already decided that we would be leaving tomorrow. I think we wanted to like create a situation like where he would pay us. Like we had this moment of realization, like, or we make him our bitch boy.
I forgot about that part.
Or we walk away from it. Like that's how I have it in my memory. And we were like, yeah, you need help and blah blah blah. We can paint your bathroom and stuff. But then you just give us good money for it. Or we hang around.
Oh yeah.
For as long as we want, but we don't pay anything. But that didn't. I don't know. That idea didn't really resonate with me, because then there would be this constant tension around.
Yeah.
I recall that you had quite a strong belief of that we could really demolish his reputation by going to the US embassy or the police or stuff. But he was like, yeah, what do you want to say? What do you want to do? And in a way I understood his point, because we are grown-ups, you know. It was like there's this gray area after you turn 18 years, you're grown up, right? And then by law, you're not different than someone of 35 years old, you know. So I don't know if we would have been really able to suit him or make a lawsuit out of it or something like that. I think we just really wanted, or I really wanted, some recognition that he would just acknowledge the whole fucking situation, but he was just denying it, man. It was so bad.
So bad.
And frustrating.
Yeah. And then I think we decided that, and then we woke up the next morning and you were just like, yeah, I just want to stop this. I just don't want to think about it anymore, and I want to move on and get the heck out of here. And I was like, okay, because we had thought about, like, what if we go to the embassy? And I think a lot of the problem was the embassy was like 9 miles away and we had no transportation there. And then what happens? And this whole debacle, and then it's like, well, maybe that's just what he expects. No teeth. You know?
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
what are they really gonna do? What are they gonna really do? They're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah. I
sick
really
part.
wonder. Yeah. You ever thought about him afterwards?
Occasionally. Like I
Yeah.
wonder if like, I think definitely partially think about
We confronted him pretty good, man. Like I wonder what changes it bring about, you know?
yeah. I do wonder if not going to the embassy, I don't wonder if how many more people it happened to.
Yeah, we also felt responsible, right? We're like,
Yeah.
hey, if this happened to us, uh, we need to do something with it, or we don't want other people to have this experience that we had because it was so, yeah, it was so nasty, you know?
Yeah. Because it was like
Disrespectful.
how much of the reason he has this hostel and he's doing this business is because he likes it, and how much of it is so he can lure young men into there to become his bitch
Yeah,
boy so that he
yeah,
can
what the fuck?
sexually assault them. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's gross. I mean,
But he was also pretty, yeah, he was just so, um, and entangled or like, yeah, just stuck with himself also in a way. Like when I had this walk, uh, the day after my experience with him, he was, yeah, he was just like saying that it was so hard for him. Uh, like I was like, why are you not honest? Like, why don't you show your true side if you like men, you know? And he was like, well, what do I have to say then? Like, hey, I want to have sex with you. And I was like, yeah, I would appreciate this honesty, you know? Because then, yeah, you can also get an honest response, right? uh, but it was for him also with his whole cultural background in his family, like really, I don't know, Christian, Catholic. It was just for him. He didn't see any possibility of being honest about his own sexuality. So there was a lot of pain that he was carrying, and that this painful entity or energy that was alive in him, it's just he suppresses it a lot, and then at times it expresses itself, uh, creating victims, I would say.
yeah. I don't know.
Which is sad, you know? But he is responsible for it, of course. Just as we are responsible, I would say, for what had happened to us. Um,
Yeah. It's like, yeah. It's like, what do you do from that? I mean, should we go back one day?
oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Would you?
I'm not scared of him. He's kind of a pussy, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm not scared either. I learned a lot by that experience, I would say. Yeah. Like about myself in a way, and about life. And you mentioned something about like reality, and being this young 20-year-old that just has a certain worldview that is not reality. I don't know. I I think there are so many different realities. You have your reality. I have mine, and this can change every other day by new experiences that you gain through your life. Um, yeah, I don't know what the point is I want to make. My mind is also on. I want to put a light behind my phone, so there's some more light with me.
Mm,
Good idea.
sure.
Nice. We have a small intermezzo then.
It's an intermission. There he is.
Yo.
I think I remember one thing that we did do to try to get back at him. I think you kind of fronted this, but you're like, I'm gonna leave a bad review on like his website or something. And then
Yeah, or on Google.
Google or something, and you like showed me, it's like, what do you think? And you wrote 2 stars. Food was good, but he tried to sexually assault me. And I was like, bro, you can't give him fucking 2 stars, man. It doesn't matter if the food was good if he sexually assaulted you. It's 1 star.
It's too funny. I cannot recall.
You don't remember that, bro? I wonder if it's still on.
Hey, that would be funny.
Should we look it up?
In the show notes.
We could probably, if I could probably try to find it. The White House.
It's still open.
Oh, he's got a 5.0 rating. Excellent.
Yeah, like it was this weird thing. He was also a really nice guy in a way, but it was just so weird that he had also this frightening
I agree.
side.
Should we go back, bro? Should we go back and then just can you imagine if like 5 years later we both just like show up at the door? What would his face be?
Yeah, do you think he would recognize us?
I don't know. I feel like we would just be like weathered. Like we would just be like stronger looking men, and he'd be like intimidated by us. That's what I would think. Because like, I don't know, deep down he's really soft. Like if you like it seemed intimidating in the moment, but like when we wanted to take him by the throat, he was just like, okay, and he just kind of like, okay, bye, sorry, I'm scared. Like it wasn't like he was gonna even stand up to us. So maybe we should, man. Maybe we should have another conversation
About life.
about life. See what he's doing. See if he's still assaulting people.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't like thinking about it too much, actually.
I don't know, it's weird because it doesn't sting me that much. It's like it just kind of happened,
True.
It's
No,
like
just
there.
thinking about what if he's still.
Oh yeah. That's scary.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would go back to Peru soon. Like maybe I would love to travel again. Yeah, a decade or something.
Okay.
But
when we're 30, we'll go back.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
In 7 years, huh?
Okay. That sounds good.
You're 23 at the moment?
22 going on 23. What about you?
23.
23. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you were trying to travel again, bro?
I think so. Like since I stopped working as this street technician, and I was like, I had this whole thing in mind. I wanted to become this so I could work all over the world, have like a purposeful job, but also to get to travel the world and meet inspiring new cultures and people, and actually that's what I want, and that's what fulfills me. So this method that I had in mind, this way, yeah, I don't know, I think I learned from it that that is not the way for me. Like if I really want to travel the world and meet inspiring people and uh, create or co-create and do stuff with what I experienced, the insights that I got and things like that, then I just need to do that, I would say.
Yeah.
And not wait for something to make that able to happen in like a financial way or
No, I agree, man. It's like if you want to do something, you really can just do it. Like if you were like, I really want to do that. If you literally just focus everything on making that happen, it's gonna happen, you know? Versus like
yeah.
as soon as you become like the bitch boy for like, oh, I'm trying to have this job because I read online somewhere that they said that some of the people that work this job can go travel and do things after they spend 5 years working for this company. And it's like, I don't know. Your
Yeah,
your your
and
your destiny becomes not in your control.
no, and what I think, okay, thinking of methods of like ways to get to this desired goal, that's good, that's fine. I think that's also necessary sometimes to have some practical steps you can take. But if those steps that you take are not in harmony with you, with what you want, and then it's also not gonna be the destination that will fulfill you, I would say. Because then you're, I don't know, it's find it sometimes a bit confusing. uh, and I'm also not that sure about what is true for me. Like I'm figuring it out, I would say. Uh, but if you have a certain goal in mind, like this desire, and the way towards this goal is not, yeah, it's not fulfilling for you, it doesn't feel good, like you don't feel inspired or enthusiastic more than you don't, like, man, like I don't think you can be every day fucking enthusiastic and full on and like, yeah, every day happy and hyped for what you are working towards to. um, Definitely it's natural that there are ups and downs, I would say. But if there are more downs than ups, then I think it's a good question whether the method to get to this desired destination is the right one. Um, yeah.
I like that. Well, what do you want next? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to be?
Yeah. Who do I want to be? Who am I? I don't know. I'm I really like inspiring people and to feel inspired by people or by not necessarily people, just experiences with beings, animals, or nature. Yeah, and I wanna be I don't know if it's a musician, an artist, I would say. Share, yeah, share life with all its ups and downs.
Do you think you could do that on social media? Or is that not something that you're interested in?
I think I am, but I don't do it. Uh, this was also when we met each other. I was like, you just do it. The things I have in mind, you do it. And they might not be like perfect or something,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess that is a concept that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes holding me back from creating things or sharing creations, because I have this idea that it's not perfect yet.
There's a quote that says, "Perfection is the killer of execution." Meaning that if you're completely focused on being something being perfect, it probably never will, and you'll never actually do anything.
No.
And I think that's something that I've had to learn in running a lot. We went on a couple of runs together. We had some good times, but
Yeah.
in
Really.
in running, there's a coach that's he's a really good coach, but he says that if you can't be great, be good. Because, I mean, you can only be great on so many days, right? Being great is an anomaly. Most people, elites in their field, elites, professional, whatever, professional runner, professional architect, professional basketball player, professional mom, or whatever that you want to say, it can only be great a few times, but you can be damn good pretty much every day. That's a choice. Great can be out of your control. Everything has to go right to be great, but to be good, you need to just be in control of your own mind, and then you can make yourself good as you can be on that day. Because I think it's really hard when something doesn't go perfectly right to just make everything go wrong, and just to like fall into it and let yourself go. And so what you got to realize, I think, maybe not you, but everyone, myself, is that putting something out that's good as it's going to be during that time period is still effective. And the perfect one will come. Maybe you'll have one or two or three of those, maybe in a lifetime, but you can have a lot of damn good stuff. And that's what really makes someone great. It's being able to be damn good a lot of times, because no one remembers the artist who made one good painting or one good song. They remember the Beatles who made like 100, or they remember, or Picasso who made 100, and that's what real greatness is.
I really like this perspective, Kalen. It's beautiful. Really a lot of strength with the words that you share. I like it a lot. And what comes to mind is I would say it's also a perspective that can differ per person what is great, because the Beatles make 100 songs and I don't know, like I find these few songs the best songs, you know, but someone else could say the other songs are the best songs.
That is true. Because your perspective of great is not necessarily the recipient's perspective of great.
No.
Because you even notice that, like with like musicians, is a lot of times their most popular songs they don't even like that much, you know?
No. Weird, huh?
They're like, yeah, my favorite album was this one that I did that no one listened to, you know? But the one that everyone likes singing is like this one that it really didn't mean that much to me for whatever reason it was. So just got to keep putting stuff out there. Maybe you should start putting more out there, man. Get back into it. You had those motivation little Instagram posts during COVID. Those were fun. You were like so chippy about life. It was like, ooh, let's go. Breathe some of that in.
I think what changed though, I was learning a lot. I'm quite a studious person. Really curious about a lot of different things in life. And I wanted to share and still do, like I have this wanting to share stuff, you know, share life, ideas, thoughts, beliefs. Because I care a lot, I would say. I care a lot about the world, the life, and everything that I was like learning, I was sharing immediately. But I've come to the realization that that's not really a way that you sustainably really share things. And there's this a saying like you lead by example, and that's what kind of changed with me, I would say. Now, I just realized like, okay, I really want to embody all the things myself first, and really be the change that I want to see in the world, instead of telling everyone what needs to be changed or what needs to change with them or with others. So yeah, focusing a bit more on my inner world instead of the outer world.
That is interesting because there's definitely like you have to, when what you say and who you are not lined up, you're just not, you don't have integrity as a person, you know, when they're not the same thing. If you're saying this but you're here, you're this is all lies, right, in a way, or like nothingness. But maybe there's power in you saying to people, I'm here right now, but I want to be here. Take this journey with me, or what you know what I mean? Like in what you could be saying is like, here's what I'm learning today. I'm not quite this, but this is something, it's a journey maybe we can take together to try to be more like this, instead of this is what you should be doing.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of power also in the process. I would say I really like this point of view, and I'm also like, yeah, I'm sometimes struggling with it, or like not sure how, I don't know how to handle the desires that I have, or I just noticed also, by focusing a lot on, hey, I want to inspire people and contribute to movements of more peaceful changes. I was still looking a lot at the things that need to be changed, this thing we talked about, perfectionism already. But at the same moment, by focusing on that, like I have attention, but there's this much space and I can put my attention here, but also here or here or here. But I cannot see the whole space with my attention. So if I focus on, I want to inspire people, so I need to act in a certain way or be in a certain way, then I don't see how much inspiration there is shared already, because I don't focus on that. I only focus on this idea of how I want to be an inspiring being for other people. But if I focus on how much inspiration I feel for other people, I don't know if do you get what I'm trying to say? No.
Not quite. So you're looking to,
Okay.
are you just lost in like the balance of trying to inspire yourself and other people, or?
Well, I think like what comes to mind is this idea of trying to swim in the water, but like swimming to survive when being in the water. But if you just relax, you'll notice that you will float, because that's a natural occurrence that we float as human beings. So I think it's a natural occurrence, a result of me just doing my fucking thing, being true to myself, being honest with myself, with my true authentic self. A natural result is people will feel inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to focus on that so much, because that's not like, it is like trying to swim in the water, and therefore I'm almost drowning, because it just takes a lot of effort. And
I guess where you could say though is, if you just sit there and float, the current's going to take you wherever it wants to take you in a way. But if you want to do this, you have to swim there. Because if you want this, you're not just going to end up there by just floating, because you're just going to float away. You're going to have to go get it. So, I mean, it depends if you have a specific goal. But I think another thought is, really inspirational people have a product of their inspiration. Like, you think like an artist has like, oh, I made this painting. This is how I show who I am to the world. Like, maybe I'm this awesome person, but this is how people can relate. Or like, if I'm a businessman, I make this amazing product that I think people can help a lot of people. And this is how people can relate to, like, the good qualities that I've understood in life I can put into a product to where it can help people, or a song. A song does that incredible amounts, can help people in so many ways emotionally. And so maybe it goes to say like you need to, like just putting something out as so somebody can grab onto it at like your interpretation of the world. And then I think what you were saying before, it was interesting when you're saying like your attention is everywhere and you don't, were you saying kind of you didn't know where to put it in a way?
Yeah, it's like around me 360 degrees is are things to see, but right now I'm only seeing this, you know, because I just have a limited perception, limited sight with my eyes. And the same it is with attention, I would say. I can concentrate on one thing, but then I won't be able to see this other thing happening at the same moment. So there's this limited amount of attention, and it's sometimes I'm wondering, I would say, what needs my attention most? Like, what is the most fulfilling for me, or the most desired thing to give attention, because I want to develop that skill or thing.
I think there's
I'm not sure if I answered your question though.
I think I kind of get what you mean, but there's I think we're all trying to find truth in the world, and we're trying to spread truth. And maybe the truest way that we can live or present ourselves, or that can make as much good in the world happen as possible. And nothing that we can say is more true than the act of pursuing truth. So like in this conversation, I'd say both of us are trying to pursue truth and get to this moment where we're intermingling and sharing energy and thoughts and ideas, because I think both of us can benefit from it and go to the next step of our life. And I think doing that is more truth than anything we can even say with our mouth.
Yeah, it resonates with me. Making the clear difference in the words and the deeds. It's really, really powerful, I would say. There's this Buddhist saying, words are like the finger pointing at the moon. They are not the moon.
Oh.
It's like words are the stepping stones to get further, to go somewhere. But as soon as you stepped on the stepping stones, as you use them to get further, forget them as soon as possible. Don't look back at the stepping stones, you know? words can be an attachment. It's like, yeah, that's something only this belief or idea that something only happened or is true when it is being said, when yeah, when someone doesn't say I love you, that someone needs to say I love you to realize that there is love being experienced. uh,
That one's
but by
interesting. But go ahead.
yeah, but by focusing so much on it, you don't, yeah, I don't know, the same thing with this attention. If I focus too much on that my beloved one didn't say I love you when we departed uh, yesterday or something, I can be so caught up in this that there's not attention for the feeling of love itself that was also present, because my mind is so occupied with the words. I'm not having attention for the experience, for a broader experience, I would say. A little bit more of the 360 degrees than just this, I don't know, 10% of attention or 20%, or I don't know how much degrees attention has.
So, dang, because you don't, when you start focusing on that, like you said, there's no room for anything else.
Right?
And then you go against your own morals. Like if I don't know. There is something though about that I've realized. I think amongst men, at least in America, maybe not as sure about Europe, but like like even within families, it can be weird to say I love you, and it seems vulnerable, which can seem weak. And what I've realized in the past few months is a stronger man can say I love you to someone they love than someone that can't say that. Like I used to be kind of scared to say that to my family, or like, like I'll get on an airplane and I'll say, "Oh, love you guys" to my family on a text or something like that. I didn't used to do that because it seemed intimidating to express that level of emotion to people. But I think definitely through a relationship that I'm in right now has kind of helped, because I've expressed my love to that person probably more than anyone else in the world I've like ever before. Like, it's like every day you remind them that you love them. And I didn't do that with my family. It was just kind of like an idea around it. But there is some reassurance to like
Hear you,
when you
bro.
what do you say?
I can't hear you anymore. My headset is out of juice. But I guess I do hear you now
Oh,
again.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. That shoot, where was I?
you were talking about the
Loving my
current relationship that
family
you're in and
relationship.
how you express
Oh,
love.
that there is. It feels like there's some kind of reassurance, maybe, in being told that someone loves you or being told these feelings of love. Um, and I don't know, is that an insecurity on my end that I feel like I need someone to tell me that they love me in order for me to feel loved? Or does that maybe just legitimize the feeling once it gets put into words? I don't know.
I find it interesting because I notice myself also feeling insecure sometimes, and having this need for uh, reassurance. And yeah, I think it's for me really good to acknowledge this and not push away this feeling and see it as an unwanted feeling of like, I don't want to feel insecure. I want to don't want to have this need for reassurance because we're very social beings, us human, and yeah, we have a need for community and for working together, and I think having assurance every now and then is part of that as well, part of the community. I really like finding out community uh, and communication, that these two words are so uh, similar to each other.
Mm.
And yeah, reassurance is good, I would say, but maybe it doesn't always need to be with words. I find it really powerful also to feel, yeah, feel this security, safety, this loving, warm energy of empathy and connection without words. Actually, you can just sit together and give these long hugs, and I have to think of the Johnny hugs, your story. Um, but then really, yeah, really wanting that. I think that's words, like the word love, just tries to express something that is not the word. The word, like, it's just this feeling of love, cuddling or holding hands, kissing, being intimate, or it can also be not in a sexual way, but just really feeling appreciated or feeling safe. Yeah, feeling supported. But then this word, love, is like capturing all this. And it's like, yeah, I don't know what I said before, this saying of Eckhart Tolle. Words are like stepping stones. Use them to get on, to go to your destination, but leave them aside once you have used them. Because I think if I attach too much to the words, I'm not open for the experience itself because I see the word as the experience in a way, but the words, the sounds, like it's also just, I don't know. We grew up with a different native tongue, right? And so many people have different languages, but in the end, we do not have different feelings, I would say. Or maybe everyone has some kind of different way of feeling, but yeah, I don't know. These sounds of language, uh, in Spanish, love is amor. In Dutch, it's liefde. In English, it's love. They all mean the same thing, but it's a different sound. Um, so it's not about the words; it's about the thing that you try to express with it.
Hmm. So like words are not the expression. Words are the description of expression.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just like this, as if I have to think of a Tupperware box, and on this box you write down the name of the food that is inside, but the actual food is inside. It's not the it's, it's not the tag that is on the Tupperware.
Oh, sometimes you put the wrong label.
Yeah, that's the thing with judgments.
As if the
It's
food.
sad because it may uh, result in the box not being opened and therefore the food not being tasted. If you see like, oh, potatoes inside, no, I don't like potatoes. I don't want potatoes.
Really, it was like a nice cheesecake, man.
Yeah, or good brownies or something.
Wow. Oh, brownies. Do you remember when that guy tried to sell you brownies in Peru?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't know.
No, we were walking down the street and like some like weird, he's like 40 or something. He came up like desperately and he's like, "You want some brownies?" And we were like, "What?" And he
Oh, but
tried to,
was it like weed? Was it
yeah, he's
weed
trying to sell
brownies?
like weed brownies,
Yeah,
like on the
true.
street. And then he like pulled you aside and he had this like giant block of like weed brownie. And you're like, "I don't need that much, man." Like, I need like
No.
this much. And you're like, "I don't know what to do now." But you said he was selling it for like ridiculously cheap or something.
Yeah, everything is ridiculously cheap in Peru for us Western people, I would say.
Yeah, we gotta. It's a good place to travel, man,
It is. Yeah.
because your money goes so far, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Hey,
I
bro.
what?
Uh, I'm thinking of what time it is.
Oh, it could be
Almost.
late.
Yeah, I think we can talk for hours, but maybe it
Okay.
would be nice to yeah, not round it off, but have some kind of time limit in mind. Mm, because I'm getting up at 4 in the morning,
Oh, Jesus, bro.
and it's 10 almost. Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. We'll
With that in
come to a
mind,
conclusion. Yeah.
take your
Okay.
time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna go. I don't know. I thought maybe we can do something together just for a little bit to change the energy a bit.
Sure.
We just stand up or I don't know.
What do you want to do?
Scream, shout. Yeah, I don't know. You do a headstand? You
I
do
can do.
headstand or
I can do I did
yeah?
a headstand today.
Oh, nice, bro. Okay,
Should
I'll
I?
do it too.
Should I?
Can you do it in front of the camera?
Probably. Here, let me see what I can do here. Let's see. Can you hear me still?
I hear you, bro.
Okay. Gee, this is kind of a tight place to do a headstand.
Yeah, also gonna. It's gonna be challenging.
See.
Huh?
Oh, I'm gonna take out everything, bro. Oh, I'm.
Hey, I see some feet. Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Nice,
Oh,
bro.
God.
I don't know. I'm trying to get up. Yeah, I'm up as well. Nice. Oh.
Oh, okay. I
You
did 30
down?
seconds. Whoa, let's
Nice.
go, bro. Oh. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Woo!
Oh, it made me fart, man. That's a good sign.
Oh. Whew.
Ay, ay, ay.
Bro, we should go. So when are you coming to America?
Ah, yeah. You trying to get me there again, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know, bro. Whoa.
You said you're kind of a free man right now, so
That's so true. Yeah.
so
I don't know if I would like to go to America, to be honest.
no, okay. I got two ideas for you. So maybe more. I'm an ideas guy. Anyways, what about you ever heard of the PCT, brother? I ever talked to you about
No.
this?
No.
Pacific Crest Trail. It's a trail that goes from the northern top or the northern border of Mexico to the southern border of Canada through the mountains of California, Oregon, and Washington in America. It's like 2,700 miles, so like 4,000 kilometers or something crazy. 4,500 kilometers, and you just go walk.
Man,
That's
4,500 kilometers.
yeah, it takes like 4 months. You do like
45,000 then. Damn.
4,500, not 45,000.
4,500. Oh, yeah.
4,500. Just up and down huge mountains and epic valleys and deserts and alpine areas and canyons and rainforests almost. It's
Yeah.
epic, bro. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, but we should do it.
This is an invitation, huh?
This is a what?
This is an invitation, huh?
This is an invitation. Because,
Nice.
brother, I want to do it so bad.
And you want to do it like one
go.
One go?
Yeah. You just start.
Yeah.
You start walking. It's a pretty big thing in America. Like, there's a few thousand people that do it, and they come from all over the world, and they come to America to go hike this trail. But it's pretty cool because like I don't know, 4 months of living outside, eating like granola bars only, and trying to walk over 14 or like 4,000 meter tall mountains and just epic shit.
Yeah. I'm thinking of this trail that starts in the north of the Netherlands. It's a trail that actually finds its route close to my mom's home where I grew up.
Mm.
And it's called the Santiago de Compostela, and goes to Spain, and it's like a
Really?
walk. Yeah, and I think it's also so beautiful. It's a lot, yeah, through France, I want to say, through France, Belgium, and a lot next to the coast. So
What's it called?
the Santiago de Compostela.
Santiago de Compostela. Okay, I'll look it up after this. Okay.
Nice.
Here's my other idea that I want to do. Top secret. Okay.
Tell me, bro.
I want to buy a bus in America, buy a bus loaded up with like the most interesting, cool people I know in my life, fill the bus up, and then drive that bus from America all the way to the tip of Chile.
Oh, damn. Patagonia.
Just drive the whole thing. And then eventually, my goal, get to Antarctica. Probably bringing the bus wouldn't be that realistic. Probably cost us like $1 million, but maybe we could like bring the steering wheel or something. And then we just like get to Antarctica. And it would take like a year, bro. And it'd be so epic.
Oh, maybe we could take the spare wheel.
That would be huge, bro.
We could roll it.
All the way across the ocean.
This is actually like an older friend of mine. Back in the days, he would go to India to pick up cargo for his like he was selling, I don't know, just like scarves and Indian beautiful handmade stuff on the market, and he would go there by himself and pick up cargo often. But when he would go there, he would drive a bus or like a Mercedes or something, and he would just buy it here secondhand in the Netherlands or Germany, and then drive there these thousands of kilometers, miles, take a few months, and then sell the car when arriving, because it would be a lot more worth over there than it would be here. And I'm like, fuck, man, it's such a, like, why?
That's a great idea. And then
yeah, nowadays you can still do that. Yeah, and then you have just beautiful adventures and you meet people and you can finance your own travels.
That first one's the hardest. Part of what I want to do during it is like make a, like if this journey takes a year, I want to make a small, I want to make like a movie of it. Like I want to record it, and then like we'll have like a movie of our 1 year of our life that we can have forever. That like it's just this beautiful, like organic thing that's not based off of any like metrics. Right? It's just like we're trying to tell this beautiful arcing story, and like each week we'd come out with like a new chapter of it. So like chapter 1 would be like us leaving. Chapter 2, chapter 3 would be each week going along to get to like 52. And hopefully by 52, we're in Antarctica.
That's so cool.
And then like forever, man, that would just exist. So you're like, oh, what was grandpa like? And you're like, oh, I got something to show you. And then you can just share this beautiful story we craft.
Yeah.
About like how we were in.
It's so cool about the times that we live, that we can capture so much forever, what she said. Forever. Does that exist?
It's crazy, man. And like, I don't know, it'd be so cool just to like, can you imagine just like watching your ancient relatives just in Colombia or something panhandling to try to get a couple dollars so they can try to buy gas to get to the next town or something? That would be hilarious to watch, you know? Like, this is who he was? Oh, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it creates a lot of depends on how you look at it and how you perceive it, but it can create quite some, I don't know, just gratitude for your life situation, and also empathy maybe for other people, their life situation, just more understanding, I would say. It's a lot of differences are being created just by people having different life experiences, and everyone has different life experiences, obviously, but that's also beautiful. By not realizing it, you just have this huge misunderstanding, and therefore this disconnection and dysfunctioning of the community in a way. Oh man, I'm taking the philosophy path again.
Bro, well, if we're hiking the PCT or if we're going to Antarctica, we'll have a lot of
I like
philosophy.
this bus. I like this bus idea, bro. And look up the Santiago de Compostela.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I think it's. I feel like when you talk to me about this trail, the 4,500 kilometers thing from Mexico to Canada, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that because it's so far away from, like, it's, of course, like one part of me really wants to do it, but another part's like, well, it's a bit too much maybe, because it's far away from what I know of the world, you know. But the Santiago de Compostela, I'm like, I have this in mind for years already. Like, I really want to walk this trail, man, because it starts in the north of my country, and I will walk next in the street where I grew up, and I don't know, man. Just I think it's so precious for me to, really nourish and appreciate just my everyday environment and my surroundings. That's what I really learned by going to Peru and traveling there. I was like, wow, everything is beautiful here, blah, blah, blah. But then coming back to the Netherlands, I was like, wow, everything is beautiful here as well, bro. I don't need to go to the other side of the world to have a week off, like to have a vacation and enjoy nature. I can also do that here when I walk in the park and I just look up and I see the trees and I see the stars and I hear the birds singing, and I'm like, fuck yeah, bro.
Interesting. So like the PCT for me is the same thing as you for Santiago de Compostela.
I think so, because if you want to come to to the Netherlands and walk to Santiago together, bro. Let me know when you.
Okay, so if I go and walk this trail, then you have to come and walk my trail afterwards.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
We'll do
But
like a
and I'm also
1-for-1.
thinking what we could also do is like make a collaboration, and you walk your trail and I walk my trail at the same time.
Mm,
That could also be a fun
it could be fun, yeah.
thing to share, like that we have contact, that we do these meetings to have the different perspectives. But and then we do ones together, and I don't know.
And then we go to Antarctica.
Yeah, bro. And we hug some penguins.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Rub the
fuck yeah.
belly. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you go to bed here, but thank you for talking with me, Not. It's been a absolute pleasure. I'm sure we have a lot of adventures in our future together. So
Yeah, bro.
excited.
Thank you so much. It was
Yeah.
so nice connecting with you and talking with you about all this. I'm really curious what people have experienced if they are still alive with us. If they not decided to quit already. I don't know. In the end, I think we have these conversations for ourselves. But if people to let us know what their thoughts are on some topics that came across, I think would be really interesting to find out. Yeah, maybe we can also. A friend of mine did this. It was really funny. Two friends make podcasts together sometimes. They said in like the final minute, okay, so we say a certain code word, and if people are still listening in the final minutes of the show, then they can comment this, like make a comment with this code word, so we know that people are still listening until the end. Maybe we can do that if you like. But it's your podcast, bro.
No. I'm thinking of the word.
Okay, nice.
Santiago.
Santiago. Yeah, let's see.
You flew into Santiago in Chile.
That's true, bro. Sure.
And Santiago is the name of the trail.
Yeah. There's a connection. Huh?
Okay.
The circle is round again.
Circles.
Actually, bro, there's so much I don't know about your life situation. But it's also funny to experience that it doesn't matter for the connection or for the time we spend together.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Maybe we have a different time, some updates. So
yeah, we should
life
keep in touch, man,
situations.
for sure.
Yeah.
But comment Santiago if you're still listening to this. If you spell it wrong, that's okay, because I feel like people are all gonna spell it a different way. Maybe you just say San Diego. I don't care.
We will forgive you.
Yeah, you got it. But sweet. Thank you for coming on. It's been awesome.